Not gonna lie, 580 bales is a lot. What am I thinking? So we arranged with next door to do the hay at the same time as them. They've got a lovely little old small baler and all the kit to hay bob and everything to turn it. So they just get contractors to cut. Hence why this big machine is doing all the cutting in a fraction of the time it would take a smaller tractor. And it's looking okay for our first harvest of hay, I guess. Not that we did anything, we just simply left it, apart from topping a few bits earlier on in the year. I did pre-warn him about the new trees. I think it's every time he hits a molehill, he ends up with a smoke bomb following him. We'll leave the professionals to it. He's absolutely steaming down that hill. Half an hour I reckon it'll take him to that whole 5 acres. Bit gutted that all three of my drone batteries are out, but I thought I'd bring the camera down because it's we don't get that many red kites around here, but they're all over the place now. The buzzards are all in now as well. 6 red kites, 3 buzzards. Maybe the red kites are just after chopped up rabbits and mice. And just like that, he's done and I've done 8 strips of the paddock. Quick, I've got about that much in mine. So it's
588. I don't know about 500 and that.
That's it. Not gonna lie, 580 bales is a lot. What am I thinking? Yeah, they don't have to get bumped.
I'm getting out, Mother. I'm getting out. Oh, that was fun. That was fun.
Well, it's nice and peaceful, but they're getting heavier, a lot heavier. So some of these bales are so tightly packed that it doesn't take much for them to buckle. I'll try and find an example in a minute, but basically when the strings come to one side and the whole thing goes bing, and you obviously lose the bale. Or you don't lose it, but it just, you can't sack it. So gotta be a little bit delicate with a couple of them, but most of them we can throw on. It's just double shifting every time, which I hate, pet hate. You can definitely see why people do round bales and barely lift a finger as far as lifting anything manually. But there's something quite nice and tactile about this. I'm sure my lungs and my body don't agree, but I bet if you could turn back the clock like 70, 80 years, someone would be in this field around this time of year, probably doing the same thing. Actually, they probably have a whole team of them. Thought I might keep going after this, but I think this will be the last one. Otherwise, I'll be a write-off tomorrow. Alright, so we started off in here, and under instruction, we flipped the first bale so that they are on their sides. Strings are this way. Just means that if the strings fail, or rot out or whatever, the whole thing doesn't collapse. It's obviously quite strong in this kind of way, vertical way. So that is the plan. Then we've switched to a bit like we're stacking bricks. Have to call it a day there. I'm a broken man. Jordan Bennett. My eyes are streaming. 50 bales on a trailer. We've done 4 trips, I think. That's 200 bales. So already in the barn we've got probably enough to see us through a winter. Rain's coming Saturday, and tomorrow's the hottest day of the year. So I might make an early start, see if I can get maybe another 100 bales in. Tomorrow's job was meant to be sorting out this lot. This year's free range meaties. But I cannot face it. It's just going to be too hot. So they live to fight another day. That might be a rainy weekend job. Well, it's day 2. The rain's coming tomorrow. I think we clocked about 200 bales yesterday. But I'm rehydrated and I'm not moaning anymore. Promise. Pig's hungry though. A sudden realisation whilst I was lying in bed last night. It makes sense to stack the top, stack up to 3 at the front, and then work my way back, rather than lifting them way above my head. What was I thinking? Yeah, we can all see who's doing the work here, Maggie. Back on it, the silly hat's on. You look far better than me. Right, we're gonna go and do another load, maybe 2. Jay's gonna go around the outside where all the single bales are, and I'll throw them on as we go. Right, Joe and I got another trailer of bales done before I left. I've just headed back to eat. Left the girls playing on the paddling pool with Joe, and I'm heading back to the farm. But today we had Craig, who is a subscriber of the channel, but also has become a local friend. He's also bought some land nearby, and he is a master on a digger. So he came, he's been working on the farm. That'll be a separate video, but he's also offered to pop back this evening, so he's going to help me see if we can load up the last of the bales, get them stacked, and it is going to be so nice to have 2 of us on it. Hay season 1 done. I'm on a ceremonial cider. Let me show you the produce. So we lost count what we stacked in here, but I think we're somewhere in the region of 50 per layer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's about 340 bales in there. We started off all neat, and then, well, just got a bit tired, to be honest. But we stepped it in a bit, just so it's a bit safer. We've kept it in. It's pretty sheltered, this barn, so hopefully that's all right. And we only had 1 fail bale. As we were grabbing the last couple of loads, obviously Craig had been helping me this evening, and his wife and his little boy came to watch. But I'd already said to next door, come and start taking them from the top, because we were never going to get them all in. So they took them with a telehandler, loaded them up. They probably took a couple of 100 bales. maybe not even that. But then they left the ones around the edge and all the stacks down by our gate, which meant we kind of unfortunately ended up with with this lot as well. And I'm not quite sure what we're going to do with them because we've got no space in the barn. I might have to start another stack because I need this trailer for other stuff this week. I think we were somewhat pushing the boundaries there, but we were definitely not going to bother going out again. And I said, let's stack them up. We can open up that top door, and we managed to get them in. But sterling job from the little tractor. But the nice thing is, it's all in. It's going to tip it down with rain tomorrow. But we can sleep easy tonight knowing that we haven't wasted anything. The rabbits are all over the field. And we've obviously now got our 5 acres back to run the sheep up. We might put them in there to tidy it up a little bit, and then we'll leave it to green up before we get it ready for winter grazing. Oh, cider always tastes better after you've been working hard. So, debrief time. Craig and his wife have also bought a small holding in the last few years. 10 or so acres near their house now. He's slowly getting all of his kit up and running. He's got loads of great little telehandler and the digger that he's been working here today with. But he's going to try and get a tractor and baling stuff for this year. But of course, it's not the only option. If you haven't got your own kit, like we haven't, you can either, use contractors to come in and do it. You can sell off the grass in the field. People will come in and cut it. Or you could have it baled and then sell the bales off the field. We could have done that. We could have just put an advert up and seen if people want to come and collect it. And they just pay 3 or 4 quid a bale or whatever and come pick it up, drive off. It's quite a good earner, to be honest, now I think about it. And you wouldn't have to sweat too much. But, of course, if you've got great neighbours, like we are lucky to have, then using their kit, they arranged the cutting with a contractor on Monday. Then they tended to it during the week and baled yesterday. And we hadn't even arranged anything. I'd asked a couple of times. He said, "No, don't worry, we'll sort it out later." So we could have paid them a fee, but equally we could have split, the bales. We knew there was going to be more than what we needed, and it just turned out that, I think we probably took just over 2/3, and they took the rest. But also, they've got the other field. So our other field right down the end, which is just an awkward shape to be small baling like this. We don't need anything off it, but we'd quite like it to be cut and get the sheep grazing again down there later in the year. And they've got a round baler, so they can help themselves to that. They can cut it, bale it up, get it gone, and that kind of does us a favour. And then they end up with, I don't know what will come off it, maybe 6 to 8 small bales, which is handy for them and their cattle. So win-win, we're done. I'm not dreading it for next year. It's good fun. It's definitely a kind of mark in the calendar, haymaking. I just think it'll be more fun and more productive and less tiring if I know that there's 2 or 3 people here, and just handling the bales and make a bit more of an event of it, being able to stop, have lunch and not feel guilty because it's going to rain. If we can keep on top of it and you've got a bit of morale boosting, banter going on, it's all good. Next big thing to happen on the farm, apart from construction and the cabin, is fencing. We've now sorted out what Craig did today. So he sorted out the banks where we cross the brook. He's dug that out, graded it all, so we can now get a full-size tractor through there. They're hopefully coming next week. Got 5 or 450 metre boundary to fence. I've got all the stuff here. The posts are arriving on Tuesday, and then they can just crack on with it. I'll be filming the whole thing, helping them. It'll be several days to get it done, and I'm looking forward to that, because as soon as that happens, then these little munchkins can get over there, and it is just pig heaven over there. There is boggy bits, there's big 6 foot tall, marsh and reeds and weeds. They're just going to do a great job clearing it. It's going to be super cool. There's trees to hang out under, because they've done their best over here, but they need a bit of greenery now. And any luck, you'll eat less food if you've got all that grass. Also, trying to get sorted with a brewery in Cheltenham and sort out arranging to pick up some of their spent grain so we can probably a third of their diet, we can maybe move to that. It means we've got to pick it up quite regularly because it can go off, but it's a free product. It's great because it doesn't go into landfill. These guys will enjoy it, and it saves on our feed bill. So again, win-win. Hope you enjoyed that little insight. I'm sure there's far more efficient ways of doing stuff, but hey ho, hodgepodge farm and all that. We're learning quick. Thanks for watching. Remember, if you can, do it yourself, and we'll see you next time.